have reached MBT Skies Daily Read channel. Today is the 27th, and we are still in this Jupiter energy, and we have Pluto on the board in the high and in the low. We have Jupiter in the medium, and the overall energy today is Pluto for Aries. Right? So let's see what's in combination this is discussing here. For Jupiter, death. It says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. So, some Aries may be experiencing some endings and new beginnings, or should be embracing some endings and new beginnings. This does not necessarily have to be a negative thing, but that's what Pluto is about. Pluto is about death, regeneration, rebirth, recreating, reestablishing, inheritance, things of that nature. So it falls in place. Now, under Jupiter, this is a discussion of communication. It's a discussion of faith, belief, religion, some traveling, authorities, elders, things of that nature, right? Sitting in the ninth house under Sagittarius energy. So Aries, if you got some Sagittarius, some Jupiter in there, there may be some things that make you really dig all the way up into your spiritual aspects and spiritual sides. And so let's see what Pluto over here is talking about and what other planets pop up, or what other houses, let's say, right? Oh, wrong card. Venus, which kind of makes sense. So when you're dealing with Venus, you're dealing with the two houses of Taurus, and you're dealing with the houses of Libra. You're dealing with partnerships, relationships, enemies, open enemies, dualities, and then you're dealing with money, finances, possessions, things like that. So there may be some endings for some Aries to some relationships, some partnerships. It may cause a little bit of a situation when it comes to finances and things of that nature. There may be some things concerning taxes and things of that nature that come up for Aries in the overall energy today. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a financial conundrum, but these are the things where changes or drastic changes or sudden changes may take effect, right? So let's look in the higher frequency, because what this is showing right here is this Pluto on the board is kind of trying to be fair in the numbers, right? It's saying, hey, Pluto is the overall energy. Pluto is overall energy right now, but there's a high frequency to it to get you there, right? So let's see what pops up here. All right. Well, here we go. Completion. All right. This is a discussion of foundations, celebration of foundations. You have the Prince of Wands in this deck. This is the journalist. Okay. And then you also have here wealth. This is the 10 of coins. So understand that the endings that one may experience or maybe dealing with or may come into today or throughout the month, understand that there is still room in this change to build firm, strong foundations, to communicate clearly, to bring in messages. There will be some messages being brought in about possible business and finances, right? That'll definitely bring in some wealth, possibly, depending on what vibration you want to deal with. But this is definitely telling you to pay attention, right? Pay attention to your foundations. Pay attention to who you're working with, who you're building with, who you're creating with, who you're communicating with, and how you're communicating. And are you communicating and accepting change so that you can get to this 10, to this wealth, health, and stability, right? So let's look at what Jupiter is talking about in the medium frequency. The Knight of Coins. Alrighty. And then you also have this oppression here. This is 10 of Wands. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. So when you're dealing with this Sagittarius, Jupiter kind of energy, you also talking about good health, wealth. Well, not so much the wealth, but good luck and fortune and things of that nature. There's somebody that may be coming in to communicate to somebody that is probably, this looks like a locked up energy, but we're going to say a trapped energy or somebody that's trapped. But there's some discussion here that may be talking about money and finances here. This is a lot of money and finances, but this oppression usually in a general deck is a discussion of a self-entrapment in some cases. In this particular deck, this is institutionalized kind of oppression, prison, right? So let's see what's going on here. And the thing that's interesting here is the fact that this 9 of Pentacles comes right under this 10 of Pentacles, right? That's 19, that's 10. This is a cycle, right? Where somebody is unable or feels like they are unable. And it's based off of what, it's based off of business. This is business, right? So let's see what else is going on here. And understand, the knight likes, he likes money. He likes the physical reality. He likes to build and create and come into new opportunities, especially when it comes to finances and the, physical attractions and things of that nature. And sometimes what it's telling you in this in this 3 and this medium frequency is, even though you do have access to these things, do not let it overcome you to the point where you're going to go chasing it to this degree, right? To this degree of you're oppressed by it to a degree. So let's look and see what's going on here. And the Valor. So you have this 7 of Wands here. This is a lot of fire energy. You have the Moon here, and you also have the 2 of Cups here. So in this lower frequency, there is, in this kind of thing, this is after the victory. This is kind of staying out the way. Somebody may not have been staying out the way and relaxing and chilling. There's some things that may be unclear, and it's staying unclear if you're in the lower frequency. This is not not changing to tap into the higher frequencies right here. This right here is relationship changes, partnership changes, things like that. I'm gonna get some clarity on here in 1 second, but let me look at this partnership, because this 2 of Cups usually is a discussion of 2 individuals in a marriage, in a relationship, right? But not to the same frequency as when you see the Lovers, right? That's in the ethers. This is a physical relationship or partnership where the interest is very common, very like-minded, right? Behind this female sits here is the Moon. So she may hold some secrets here, okay? For those Aries who are dealing. But we're going to see what's going on over here. And if you notice also in this deck, both of these partners here, they are on the computer, okay? So there may be some things going around on the computer, being put out via the computer in reference to money, to make money, finances grow, things of that nature, if you bring it up. But this would mean that these 2 individuals would put out negative things just to gain, right? Just to gain into the higher frequency. Things that's not known, that's not very clear about people that's oppressed, that may be in prison, that, in a higher frequency, maybe business and things of that nature that may end up coming out. Also, this kind of not staying out the way for a little while, splurging, living life, still trying to build firm foundations. These are the things that, when you're looking at it from the lower frequency up. But when we're looking across here, this is about not staying out of the way. This is about somebody being oppressed, somebody possibly being incarcerated, and there's a lot of money involved in the situation, and there's people that know about it. So anyway, let's see what else comes out. Alrighty, let's look at what Venus is talking about, because this is definitely telling us Aries energy that's in this overall Pluto energy, that there's drastic changes that's going to come, alright, and it's going to affect marriages, relationships, partnerships, and money. So let's see what else is coming down here. What do you talk about, Venus? Right. The Devil. That's Capricorn energy. The Universe. And you also have the Matriarch, the Queen of Coins. So you got a nice little bit of this Earth energy that comes down. Letting you know, pay attention to your house of Taurus. If you got some Taurus in there, pay a nice bit of attention. Understand that in these situations when Partnerships and marriages, and possessions and finances are coming through drastic changes. This may put one in this feeling of bondage, and that, they have to kind of go through this particular cycle. This Queen of Pentacles here represents an older individual with knowledge, wealth, health, stability, really like the nice life, but it also has a water aspect to it. And if you're looking at Pluto and its water aspect, then this Queen of Pentacles may also be moving in a water aspect. Aries, if you have Pluto in your chart, you might have this earth of water kind of aspect if you're acting on that, right? So outside of that, let's look at what's going on in this middle frequency, because Jupiter is obviously a conversation. Okay, so let's look at that. Matter of fact, let's look at this one first. All right, the Sun. So this is Leo energy. So when you're talking about this, you talk about relationships, creativity, business, new ideas, new concepts, but you also talking about things being seen clear, happy, and comfortable. Now, when things come to particular ends, it is disturbing for most. Aries don't really like drastic changes. They like to have control, right? But things come to an end, and there's still the ability of happiness. But this also could be a discussion of transition. So there may be some Aries here that's dealing with people that have transitioned, and that's why a lot of these discussions of death, inheritance, and taxes, and money, and finances, and marriages, and that kind of stuff is coming up. So tap into your higher frequency here, okay? So you don't get thrown off. Now let me see what else is coming on down here. Oh my God, the card comes up again. All right, so yeah, this may be a discussion of transition, endings of partnerships, endings of marriages, endings of elders, possibly, and inheritance and family structures and things of that nature. Communications about money, how money is being used, tapping into faith, spirituality, getting into that. But there's an incarceration and oppression that's taking place, and that even involves some money. So let me look over here. This is a little bit of drama today with this Aries Pluto energy. Everybody may not be dominant have dominant Pluto in their chart, but this is a lot of Pluto and a lot of Jupiter in the chart right here. All right, and the Ace of Cups. Yeah, so there's some individuals that may be in their emotions. Now, oppression in this deck is represented by institutionalized oppression, but at the same time, in reality, anyone can experience institutionalized oppression without even being within an institution. So you have to think about that. How do you think about money? How do you think about creating money? How do you think about spending money? How do you think about your emotions attached to money and the finances and things of that nature? And a high frequency is accepting change, being able to still build firm foundations, communicate, bring in messages in regards to money. But there's this energy here that is just very like there's some people that's experiencing these things because of a actual loss, right? So justice. All right, so for those Aries with this dominance in Pluto, dominance in Jupiter, right? Pay attention to the fact that yes, you get into this needing to kind of fall back and not feel like everybody's against you. But in this case, it would be like this: everybody's against you, and things are not very clear about how partnerships is taking place, marriages, things and balance is required. There may be some court involved, and that's the thing. The court is in reference to money and business. Okay, court is in reference to money. So those of you who are dealing with court in reference to money and inheritance and things of that nature, even in business and what's supposed to be yours coming out of an ending of a business or a partnership, yeah, that may be a discussion. Outside of that, with this moon, right, things are not clear with this physical reality, with this finance. It might be a lot of money in discussion. It's not clear, even though there's an ending taking place, right? Outside of that, this is a very interesting kind of reading coming down. Let me see something overthought. This is very interesting. I'm going to say so myself. Alright, so you got this courage right here. You have grief right here, right? And you have judgment right here. Right. So yeah, this is making a whole lot of sense here. This is making a whole lot of sense. So first off, throughout all of this drama and a little bit of chaotic energy, it's still saying that it takes courage, right? And so it says, I find the inner strength to face fears with confidence. This is necessary to maintain the foundation. This is necessary to be able to talk and communicate and bring in messages in reference to business and things of that nature and finances, even though things may come to a particular end. And I see that in this, it's saying tap into your spiritual side, get into your faiths and your beliefs so that you can balance out, because people have to understand what this, it says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And so this is very true, and this is why I threw it down here. It comes down by the Knight of Pentacles. There's some individuals who may come into new opportunities when it comes to finances, and may not be very mature about how they use their finances, and may experience a bit of grief and feeling oppressed financially and within their emotions about these things. And the middle frequency is saying tap in to a higher frequency so that you can understand that it's not really about grief. It's about, okay, you had certain things, you had certain people in your life, they're not there. There's new opportunities that will come whether you want to believe them or not. And in this judgment, it says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenge, right? And this is very true. And so even in going through the process of, in the lower vibrations of not being able to, stay away from other people, there may be this feeling of needing to isolate or stay above other people, because people have to pass judgments. They pass judgment and they do it in secret. A lot of the times you have this love situation, this partnership right here. They may be going to court, but there's some things that need to be looked at today in this Pluto energy. So those who like to pay attention to their charts, look at your, make sure you're paying attention to your house of Libra. Make sure you're paying attention to your Taurus house. Make sure that you are paying attention to your Scorpio house, right? Make sure that you're paying attention to these things. It's very little water on the board, okay? So this is a particular situation that may have thrown a person so far off that they're not even really able to be into their emotions the way, one would think right now. It's a little bit numbing, right? But this is definitely talking about an end to a particular situation, a particular marriage, a particular partnership, transitions and things of that nature, and what goes on during these transitions. The acceptance is to be, courageous, address the situation, be strong enough to want to maintain a foundation, be strong enough to be able to communicate properly, and with the intentions of always creating this generational wealth, health, and stability for the, in the situation. Outside of that, this, in accepting particular endings that take place to get you there. So anyway, this is today's reading. Smooches and deuces, and be good. And I'll see you on the next one.